Yo. What up, man? Say B. Wesley. Cass Jen. Michael. Alla, what is up? Brendan. Mike. Do some pattern analysis, dude. Okay, Matzel Habits. RR24. John. Champagne Poppy. What's up, dude? Yeah, we're going to do some pattern analysis, man, here. Jess. Bill. Echo, what is up, man? Castor Troy. GR. Yeah, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to fucking cover, dude. So I'm going to be looking at two charts. I'm going to be looking at AMC, and I'm going to be looking at AMC plus Ape. Okay, we have the updated version of AMC plus Ape, which is right up here. And what this one right up here is the adjusted version, because TradingView went ahead and scaled the chart. So when you scale a chart, automatically all the data that you had previously is going to look different. Okay, and that's just part of scaling, you know, what happened here before Ape came to play, man. But we're going to be looking at both charts because I think they're both relevant. Now, the AMC plus Ape chart does look a little bit more... So it did cross a very important level, but the thing here is, I was telling the Discord earlier, we are currently in a parallel channel down here, and if you guys take this parallel channel and you extend it, down here, what this is doing is it's taking this like symmetrical, right? The parallel channel is two parallel lines, and here they're both symmetrical. So what you get is you get a zone, extended zone, and these are like, I mean, this is basically natural fibs right here that you're getting. So we are coming close to AMC plus Ape. We are coming close to that zone, and we are considering here a bounce. Now, nothing here is yet confirmed for an extension in the cycle or anything, because, you know, with the market right now, what it did earlier today, there is still room for upside. And really what needs to happen is tomorrow, going into Thursday, all meme stocks, AMC, GameStop, the entire meme sector really has to start going up. Or else we do get an extension in the cycle, right? That is just how the cycle works, guys. And we talked about this prior to the March run, okay, that there's always a possibility that things get extended, and that's completely fine. But again, I am still very optimistic that things do play out according to plan and according to the next POI. The next POI is end of September, and that is where we get some volatility in the market, right? So with that being said, let's talk about AMC, dude. Let's go here on AMC's chart. This one, because see, now they look different. They're completely different. And there's still a lot that's not clear, okay? Because we do have different charts. Like on Webull, we have a different chart on the daily versus like the 4 hour, 2 hour, whatever other time frame you have. if you're using that, I mean, there is still data that needs to be corrected, and we still need a little bit more information on what Ape is going to do versus AMC. Because they're still, guys, they're still tracking each other. They're still bouncing off of each other. The problem here is if, say, Ape starts coming down very quickly, okay, that's naturally going to affect the price of AMC, right? But we still don't have enough information on what's going to happen in the long term, how Adam Aron is going to be using the Ape shares, and if they are diluted or anything like that, in the long term, that would affect AMC's price as well. But in the end, we have the cycle in place to tell us these points of interest, and that's exactly what we're waiting for. I mean, we're waiting for things to start curling back up. AMC's chart by itself does not look bearish to me. Okay, we're still respecting this level right here. And looking for a V reversal, right? So I'm going to pull up the SPY too and talk about the SPY, because the SPY has a lot to do with let's see, SPY. This market has to do with the entire POI section here. So whatever the market does, guys, it's like Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin leading the way, man. And then you get all these like altcoins going up and down as a crypto market is going up, right? It's what controls the crypto market. And same with the SPY and all these other indices. It's basically what is leading that direction and telling us where we're going. So yes, we did take the SPY was going down. It's been going down, right? But we are at a very critical level. Right now, the level to track is going to be 392. That is for a low, a potential bounce here at 392. Or we start gapping up, right? Now, that really just depends on futures, on what the market is going to do here. But I just don't see any sort of I don't see another leg down. Okay, I do believe that 362 is that bottom. And we're just, they're ripping the Band-Aid again, guys. This is what they do. They're ripping Band-Aids and then slowly bringing the market back, right? And then ripping Band-Aids, going back up. Ripping Band-Aids. Like, dude, that's just what has been happening here. Look at this, dude. Drastic levels where you just get major volatility in the market. And you know what's funny? Watch this, dude. This is why the cycle is so important. But compare AMC and the SPY when you get these fucking Band-Aid rips. Watch this shit. So you have... Okay, so you have it like right back here. Ever since the market started to come down, right? We're going to pay attention to this year, early this year. We started to come back down, and we haven't really established any sort of trend to the upside yet. We're trying to get there. We haven't done it though. AMC and all these other stocks, okay, they get pumped right on the peak of the market, and then as the market is coming down, you can see it goes first, then the market starts dumping, and it takes AMC down with it. It's the same thing that happens back here as well. These are two major POIs that we have tracked in the cycle, right? March and July. End of July, going into August. Same thing. AMC gets pumped, and then the market starts coming down, right? Taking AMC down with it. Right here in between, case was a little different, but that was because AMC was just trading sideways, and you were already at a bottom. So there's once you get AMC to a low point, it's really hard to take it down even more, right? So here you can tell that AMC was doing a little bit better than the market. And what I'm looking for here is a reversal in the market so that we start climbing back up as well. Because what's going on right now, guys, is, and I posted this on Twitter earlier today because I found this to be pretty important here. Oh no. Here we go. All right, so quad witching. Okay, we talk about this every stream because it's very important. We just keep tracking this, man. Quad witching is, this one's adjusted to AMC's price, but you can see that the trend is curving up. It's pointing in the right direction, that we want things to, where we want things to go. Now, the setup that we saw previously looked a little bit like this. It called for upside right here, and it was, you know, pretty good amount of upside before coming down and establishing a level of support. So it's, you're staring your way up before making that full climb, which is what we want. But again, if things start pushing back down, then it's likely we're going to get something like this. Okay, and I'm not going to give my thoughts right now on this scenario, because I don't, you know, once we start getting a little bit closer to some kind of a push down where we start considering the, you know, another POI, and that would be unfortunate, but that is also a possibility, then we'll start talking about that. And I've said this before, guys, with every cycle, nothing is guaranteed to go up on a POI. A POI, point of interest, is just a volatility zone. If things choose the downside, well, then you get the downside. And we've had that happen multiple times on the cycle here before. All right, a major one was November. What this guy's doing over here. All right, so identical POI, identical POI. Okay, this one was inverse right here. This one was also inverse, inverse right here. This one was identical. But there is a trend here, guys, and the way this works, now that we have more information, because as the cycle is moving and we get more information, you can kind of see the patterns that are playing out. And what happens here, what I've noticed, is that there is typically one cycle period where things are just, oh, wrong one, where things are stagnant. They don't do much. And what I've seen, and you can look at the price action, but you actually have to take the bars pattern and extend it over so you can see what's going on here. But this cycle right here, this cycle, and this cycle have all been very stagnant. Okay, and so it's one on, one off, one on, one off. And the ones that have been very accurate here have been these, have been, well, obviously this is where the cycle came. This is where it actually started, because the cycle comes from this arc right here. This is the entire cycle that you're looking at right down here. So it's really how we should be looking at it, is like right here. So if things don't start to curl back up here, what this indicates is that we're probably going to get another period of just sideways pressure. And this is just how the market has been trending. It's what it's been showing. And this is like a worst case scenario here if things don't start to curl back up. I was showing the Discord earlier today what the possibility of that would be if, you know, if we did start coming back down. That would probably indicate, okay, and this is a good way to predict the market. The reason, you know, the cycle here is so accurate is that it also predicts just the overall market. Because once you start like looking at AMC going up, if it doesn't sustain that level and it crosses multiple levels of support, that's an indicator to me that the market is also going to start coming back down. Because this, guys, this is all done strategically by these hedge funds. They know when the market's going to go down. I mean, everything is happening through their agenda. They know what they're doing. So whenever we get that push back down, if AMC continues to go back down, that's going to be an indicator to me that it's likely we're going to get some kind of a leg down. Again, I'm just talking worst case scenario. Best case scenario, we start going back up tomorrow, going into Friday, and we fucking go, baby. All right? That is the best case scenario. Best case scenario is we start climbing back up tomorrow, and we set up to climb all the way up here to the $15 range by quad witching date. And that would be the same thing here, looking at AMC's little squeeze candidates here, that we have our little patterns. I have so many. I'm going to show you a couple. So this is one I've been tracking. It was very, very accurate. This one's really nice, right? When we talk about this Bitcoin setup here. This is Bitcoin right here, and you can see it tracks all this way and then stops tracking right here. And this is AMC plus Ape, guys. That is not showing up on the chart, obviously, but you can see that just based on this pattern here, a way to track points of interest just based on pattern analysis is looking at where there's a lot of volume. Okay, anything in between is not necessarily a point of interest. So right here would be considered a point of interest, and you can see that this would be labeled here for the next couple days. Okay, that's one right there. Here's another one. I mean, I can keep going, dude. I have so many. Here's another one too. Well, this one's a little bit this one's a little bit wonky here, but this is because this one's intraday. Right there, but you can kind of see how it's playing out, right? Dude, so many are just pointing to the upside. I mean, dude, AMC has been beat, and it's ready to curl back up, man. It's been too long. CFATS, thank you, man. All right, I'm gonna answer some questions. What happened? Something got banned? Who got banned? Is that for real though? Are you sure? Thank you, Griffin. Okay, and then just I'm gonna do a I don't do too much technical analysis because there's endless amounts of possibilities with endless amounts of possibilities with what a pattern can be. So technical analysis is just kind of used after a POI is spotted, and then using really what it does is once you have a POI, so this is the POI, right? October. What you do is, there's a little trick. If that's the POI, what can I possibly do here as an institution to create a synthetic pattern, right? Because it's nothing here is, I don't believe it's all retail moving the price. I think it's completely manipulated. So if you believe it's manipulated, then you have to create something that looks realistic, right? Which is a pattern. Okay, we've had pennants before that are not bullish. They just break down because they want to. We've also had cups without handles. And we've had wedges, right? That just break down. I mean, there's so many patterns that you can have here, right? This could be a triple top crown pattern, right? Starts feeding back down. And then now you have this room to play with and say, what pattern are we going to create here, right? And that way you can formulate different ideas here. The one I had originally thought of was a broadening wedge, which was exactly what GameStop did before it ran up. Okay, and that is right here. So we'll leave that right there. And you can see a broadening wedge. It just keeps climbing, it gets bigger. That's a broadening wedge right there. Okay. So this was my initial thought here with AMC. It's not quite perfect, but you can see that it's got similarities. In fact, well, this one is a lot bigger. It's got similarities, but here what would need to happen is we would have to pass through and come all the way up here for that to be valid. If it doesn't do that, then we're dealing with something else, right? So I guess now that we have this much space, that's where you kind of look at technical analysis and kind of understand, well, what can we do within this time frame before the volatility zone kicks in and comes in. And really what we got going on here is also time frames are very important. So right now we're on the 3 hour, and I'm gonna go ahead and go on a larger time frame. So we're gonna go on the 3 day because I think we'll have a little bit more to work with here. A lot more to work with, and then to narrow this even more, use some a moving average here and take this shit away. All right, now we can play with technical analysis. Okay, you can see here, you can kind of see a cup, right, without a handle, and then yeah, like what would you do here? You can always flip the chart too and kind of see it from that perspective. But these are very symmetrical too, and you can kind of see that curve. It's starting to curl back down. So if the POI is right here, end of September, going into October, this is how much time we have to create the next technical setup. And that's all you get, dude. That's all you fucking get. There we go, right here, deadline, red. And then we can draw some curves. Right there, there's a curve line right there. Things are curling back up. And you can see right here, from a symmetrical level, there's upside. There's upside before more upside. So that's exactly what we were tracking here, except this would have to be more. Would have to be quick, and would have to be more. It doesn't really have to be. But if we climb up like this, well, now that I see this, if we do climb up and create something similar to that, we would probably be dealing with like an inverse. Well, we would be dealing with a head and shoulders at first, and then from a head and shoulders, dude, I'm telling you, man, TA is tricky with time frames. Very tricky with time frames. Okay, hold up. Let's pull up the Let's pull up this again. There we go. Okay. And this was the October, man. October fucking POI, and things starts coming. Okay, so and then also on the cycle. Actually, well, let's just fucking pull up the cycle, dude. Boom. Okay, so we are right here in the cycle, and you can see that how accurate the cycle is, man, is just fucking insane. Right here. Okay. Same thing. You just the way the cycle works is you must You must extend the height if you want to be able to see things clearly, or else you're not going to be able to. Look at that. For those of you that don't think the cycle works, right there, my friend. Okay, and then what it calls for next, and for those of you that are new, you know, to cycle analysis and just the 62-day cycle, is you get patterns here playing out inverse or identical, and the red portion is the red and green portion decide the macro direction of AMC, and right in between here is where you just get the algorithm working over time. So you have a lot of patterns that just trade sideways and track, on the micro scale, remember, taking the pattern and extending it to be able to see everything very clearly. But you can see here how accurate it is. I mean, right here, for example, you can start curling back up. This is inverse, and as soon as you enter here, and I've been telling people to look at this, not paying too much attention to detail unless you're like right in the middle. If you're right in the middle, it's going to track very, very similar to the patterns that are occurring. But anywhere where there's volatility, so where there's direction, a direction shift, is where you're going to get everything tracking more on a curve than anything. So for example, here you can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's this crown pattern, same thing. I'm calling for upside on those volatility zones. So there's 1, 2, and then 3. This is where downside begins. That's a volatility zone as well. And these have all worked on every single time frame that we track them in. Okay, so we're coming to this tail end, red portion, and we're gonna go ahead and flip this guy here. Bring it all the way back up. 3, there we go. And definitely have to change the height here of it without shifting the time. The time is very important not to shift. I'd say right there. Okay, so inverse currently playing out, well, it's currently playing out identical. But at some point where you get a shift in direction that chooses direction, well, let's look back here when that happened. You can see some spots here where it was tracking identical, and then it started shifting away from that. And some of these, like, dude, I mean, the most accurate one that I've seen is on this cycle. This one is just, like, spot on, dude. And also there are days where things are shifting around. So the cycle, the way it works, it moves like this. As AMC's price is moving, the cycle will be shifting around back and forth to adjust to any sort of dates like holidays or leaps with options, stuff like that. Always affects the cycle. So you must always track them on those time frames. But yeah, you can see how these events are very, very accurate. I mean, look at that, guys. Look at that shit. Dude, boom. Volatility zone, volatility zone. Okay. And these are put in place, man. 62 days apart. There's no shifting here. They're all exactly 62 days apart. So, yeah, going back to this. As soon as we start to get a change in direction here, that is where we're going to be flipping the switch, and things are going to start tracking inverse. And that would indicate, that would be good for this next POI. So there's a lot of things that we track here for it. And so far, just with the current market state, okay, we're in a very sticky situation. So the goal here is to curl back up as soon as possible, have a reversal on the market, so that does shift things in the positive direction, and then from there, things should be tracking according to the cycle here again, and we should be good to go. Milo. Thank you, man. Glad to have finally catch you up here on the stream. It's been a minute. Keep up the good work. Hey, man, thank you for coming in and chilling. Chilling here, man. All right, all right. Oh yeah, man, I've been wanting to do one with Booksy. Yeah, if you got to do a little collab, man, with Booksy. And Rico. I always do collabs with Rico, man. Rico is, I mean, we'll go on each other's lives and lit candles. If the algo breaks, will it disrupt the cycle? Yes. Yes. If the algorithm breaks, as soon as you get that inflow in volume, whether it's margin call, whether it's an inflow, unexpected inflow in volume from retail traders or a big whale or something that breaks the algorithm, you're going to get the exact same thing that happened to GameStop last year. The exact same. I mean, this thing will set up. And as soon as you get there, I mean, you know, GameStop went from 500 to 100 in one day. That's an algorithm right there breaking. It trades like this. There's no control. It'll try to recreate, and you'll see intraday certain patterns that are being replicated, trying to be stopped. But then, you know, as soon as you get more volume coming in, it breaks again. It'll try. The algorithm will try very hard to get things back in control, but it won't be able to. Oh yeah. But that's the thing, man. It's all just, that's the market for you. It's all a cycle, and once you kind of learn, yeah, like Wesley is saying, once you learn that cycle, you play their game, and you make money doing that, because, you know, these guys are gonna try and feed you the wrong information, and it's just gonna be, yo, like, you know, and they'll release everything, news and everything, according to their agenda. That's the problem. And then they'll feed you this, like play with these, you know, TA patterns that we created, and they'll push out a narrative like, oh, there's a cup and handle on, you know, AMC on the 4-hour chart, it looks bullish, and then they'll like pin that, and then the stock starts coming back down. And they do that with like the entire market, and they do it in such a way where they're still able to kind of, you know, will trick a lot of people, because there will be a couple of plays that play out, but the majority don't. So they kind of keep you, you know, kind of second guessing yourself the entire time. So there have been many events, guys, where the cycle has been, you know, tracking other cycles in the market. And I mean, that's exactly what I do here when I'm not looking at AMC. you know, I'm using AMC to really understand the entire market, and it's helped a lot with finding other cycles. Understanding one cycle is really good for applying this and using it for other cycles. So all right, guys. Wanted to make this a shorter video. I'm going live now. I go live whenever I try and update the charts, and then I post that video as a shorter video, so that, well, you guys can be in here with me when I do the analysis, and then other people can watch it, and it's not a like 3-hour long video or anything. So yeah, you will see me though live during the day as well, and I typically go live for a longer amount of time. I don't go, 30 minutes or 45. I go live for about 2 hours. So you will see me on stream soon. But I wanted to kind of share my thoughts here on what I see moving forward. So I am expecting the market here to reverse soon. However, if it doesn't, we'll kind of have to, update things as they go. It's going to be very important that we do that, because any sort of confirmation here for like, an extension in the cycle will have to be we'll have to basically drag this thing down for a little bit, and I don't quite see that right now, so I'm not going to focus on that right now. But again, endless possibilities right now. But I'm still bullish, man. I'm still bullish on the AME. Okay. Alrighty, guys. You all have a good night. I will see you soon, and you guys take care, man. Good night. Bye bye. Yes, I do. It's in the link below, man. If you guys do want to join that Discord and talk it up with some peeps. Bye-bye, guys.